Hi everybody, it's Mr. Lee David Carter here, and I thought I'd talk to you about a really interesting subject, and it's about dysphoria. And I'm going to go by my experiences, and it may relate to some people out there, it may not relate, because we're all different, okay? So basically I went through gender reassignment surgery a decade ago, and those suffering with gender dysphoria, I thought, it sucks really, to be honest, and it's a big topic to talk about. So, it could be relate to your balls even, something like that. So, it's big enough, whether it's too small or too big, even that can be classed as gender dysphoria. Those that have been assigned at particular sex at birth, like female, and then they're feeling like the opposite sex, male, regarding their gender. So there's a mismatch with the gender they were born with. So although gender dysphoria affects people differently, and it does, because we're all different, dysphoria can affect a person in the most unusual way, like being naked and having clothes on, having clothes off, the clothes you wear. So, some of the most unusual things, should I say, even for me, you can be seen as having small hands, or being short as a dude, or the size of your feet even, with that masculinity that you might have, or, that you feel about yourself. Something as small as that, gender dysphoria. Before I had to transition a decade ago, it was the bigger things. Before going through the transition, it was like the breasts, having to bind using bandages, or using compression vests or sports bras, things like that. So people do not discriminate when going through a transition. Before even having sex, I used to wear a strap of dick to me, as part of me was missing the penis, gender dysphoria. Okay, I'd be involved with straight women. I was never a lesbian. I came from a different generation where it wasn't spoken about or heard of, but that's how I felt. Okay, and then I'd pack my pants and put a sock in it, gender dysphoria. So, those sort of things. Even though, I went through the transition, I needed to have that deep voice, hairy look. Or I've always been athletics in school, muscle building. Even as a child, they thought me as a tomboy. They look at me pulling weights and saying, "Oh, you look like a boy." Also, how people approached me after the transition, the pronouns and so forth, how they referred to me. There'd be times when they'd call me sir, or other times they'd call me madam, gender dysphoria. Mistakes were made, calling me by my birth name, but that's okay. The people that did it was difficult for them because they always knew me by my birth name. So all that consciously can affect you when it comes to gender dysphoria. So I never had a problem, with it too much, but there was some bigger problems, like I've just mentioned, and then you got the smaller problems, which can be unusual, even, as I've just mentioned. As a child, I always had football legs, strong legs. I always played football since I was a kid. I had, big legs, muscly, stocky. I was hairy legs as a child. I was never a girl. And girls saw me as that masculine side of me, which really I felt like that from as young as whenever, right up until teenage years to adult life. Suffering with dysphoria, even the genitals, again, you want to make sure it looks right, feels comfortable, that it matches consciously. Those thoughts go through your head. Anyone that's going through the transition now, reflecting back, even when socialising and getting involved in the sports gym, playing football with the guys, or attending the local swimming pool, and going swimming at the gym. Now, to some people, you socialise with even right down to taking a shower in the men's room, in the men's changing room before the transition. All of those things, dysphoria. You know, I had the top surgery done, not the bottom surgery, and suffering with, I was dysphoric, suffering with dysphoria, not feeling complete, being around different groups of people you socialise with, you know, whether it's from the LGBTQ community or just people that are not really in that community, and hanging out with guys and, you know, and with other people, being able to, you know, socially connect, socialise with different groups of people. Again, you know, all of that consciously can affect you with regards to dysphoria. Also, like, being able to sort of come and have that feeling with the nerves in the penis, all of that dysphoria, you know, knowing that you've got to connect with that male side of you, something like that in the head of the penis. Anyone that, even the newbies out there, you've got all that to come yet, because you're new to this and you've just transitioned. All those feelings could take 3 to 4 years before you get those feelings of coming in the head of the penis, and, you know, and the genital part, the manly side, the masculine side of feeling it. Depends on how much you know sexually that you experiment and sort of get those feelings, because you've got all that to come as well. So that as well, and then, you know, just to go along and started playing with toys and things like that. So you've got all that to go through yet, because I went through this transition a year ago. I was a virgin for a while, used to play around a bit, and, you know, and then when I got involved, started having intercourse, I had to sort of play around a bit sexually to get the feelings, you know, like any normal man. Okay, so you've got that to come as well. So again, that can make you dysphoric. You know, making sure that you connect properly sexually with your body to who you are inside consciously, dysphoria. And I'm going by experience, okay. Dysphoria, more or less, you know, it's completely gone for me. So really, all the newbies out there, you know, it's a long process even consciously to go through. But I feel, you know, now I'm just existing, that really it's just a privilege. I'm just living my life as a man, and I'm just existing with a sense of freedom and connected. So, you know, I'm out in the open, the guys see me as a dude, I'm a member of the gym 8 years, you know, they accept me for who I am, and I've been, you know, public with TV, press and media, coming out there within the public. So, and there's been years of that already exposed. So beforehand, with dysphoria, what people thought of me, it would be sometimes awkward, it would be uncomfortable at times. The conversation that I used to hear in the male changing room, before the bottom surgery, going through the process with gender reassignment surgery, you know, they speak about boners and intercourse all night long with women, and some of the language they come out with, you know, what was going on. It was dysphoric at the time. There's a lot of things trans people can feel with dysphoria over these things alone, consciously. You know, there is no right or wrong. In variation, we're all different, and everyone experiences of dysphoria are different. But one of the main ones is the bathroom in men's changing room in the gym. Like beforehand, before the bottom surgery, I was very dysphoric. So, you know, feeling uncomfortable, using the stall, doing my business, going for a pee, listening to what was going on in the men's toilet, you know, the smell and all the other things, you know, it's dysphoric. At the time, I'd not even had the bottom surgery then. But, you know, it's been over a decade, and dysphoria, you know, intercourse, for example, the feelings, puberty again, sex, penis, all of that can contribute to dysphoria as well. Being able to connect with your body sexually, with who you are as a male. So I thought I'd talk about this subject because, you know, dysphoria is a bit of a strange subject because, you know, there's no right or wrong, everybody's different, everybody experiences things differently on how they feel because we're not all the same. But I'm going by my experiences, and it was over a decade, and it is a long process to go through, and a lot of the things that I've said will probably relate to how you're feeling and what you're going through. So it's to give you some sort of idea, some sort of help and support to make you aware of that. Anyone that's going through dysphoria, going through the process of gender reassignment surgery and transitioning, that it is a long process. Even after the surgery, it's still a bit of a process getting used to this new body that you're in when it comes to the penis and things like that, even that as well. Okay, so I'm going to sign off. Thanks for watching this video. Please press the subscribe button. I'm on www.leedavidcarter.com platform. You'll find me on most social media, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, LinkedIn, whatever. Okay, so I'm going to speak to you all soon. I'll be talking a bit more about some of these subjects and go into it a little bit more with the, you know, after the surgery, and you know, and some other things as well, topics around that. When it comes to intercourse and things, later on I'll share some videos like that. So I'm going to sign off for now. Namaste, love and light. Speak to you all soon, everybody. Stay tuned. Bye for now.